Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for being here. This is a great panel, certainly an important subject. Certainly all of us are interested in it. Mr. Kimmel, let me start with you. Can you just briefly describe a casino-grade geolocation system to me?
No, I do not have information about that. I cannot provide information on that.
On a casino-grade geolocation system?
No, I am not familiar with that system.
Okay, okay. Well, let me ask you, are you aware that the Georgia Lottery Corporation conducts third-party penetration testing of their geolocation and age verification solutions? And this is very important to me. I know it's somewhat specific to my state, but the Georgia Lottery has been very successful, and by statute, all of those proceeds from that go to education. So we're looking at potentially losing $10 million in revenue directly to education. So that's why it's of concern to me.
Certainly, no, I am not familiar with the Georgia Lottery or its processes.
Okay. Senator, let me ask you, if we were able to control where online lottery sales can be done and the age of the person who purchases those tickets online, if we're able to control that, then how is it the Federal Government's problem? Why should the Federal Government be getting involved in it?
I'm not sure I'm totally tracking the question, but the states that establish their statutes, regulations, and technical standards, I have found over 20 years of experience, those local requirements, those local technical standards usually address the resident issues that crop up with those regulatory agencies. So in the case of an online lottery business, there will be particular requirements that may not be what you see in a traditional casino environment. So if there are specific elements related to lottery, I'm sure the lottery players in that game will contribute to very detailed debates on what should and shouldn't be included. In the case of lottery specifically, it's no different than what we saw with our online accounts. The one difference that they may decide to adopt is some of the registration requirements that we required in our state. That may not be the case, but that is one example that could bring greater transparency. But those tools are available, and they're getting better and better each day.
So the tools to be able to identify where the ticket is bought, where it's originating from, and the age, verification of the age of the person who's purchasing it.
I don't see the difference between any purchase transaction and any gaming transaction. It all comes in the form of complete tracking, so that I think those are very similar. As it relates to age verification, those will be continued challenges. There's more and more technology coming on board, but you probably shouldn't be able to register in the first place for an online transaction unless you've provided your identifiers, your personal account information, your access to whatever card you're using to transact. Again, building that wall as high as you can so that to the extent that a parent is going to then turn over that account information is no different than a parent being irresponsible in any other consumer transaction.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, my concern is this, okay? I don't want to lose $10 million in revenue to education. I mean, it's very, very important to us in the state of Georgia. It's worked well. And we feel like we're able to control where that ticket originates from, where that purchase originates from. We feel like we're able to control or to verify the age of the purchaser. So why come to Washington, D.C. and for me to say, no, I'm not going to allow you to do it if we're able to control that? Mr. Klein?
Yeah, what you're talking about is intrastate, I think, and what we're talking, I think, for the most part, is interstate issues with regard to gambling.
Well, let me get clarification then. Do you have any problem with intrastate?
I don't have a problem if Georgia has a lottery and they run it intrastate and they regulate it intrastate. Nebraska has a lottery also that we have intrastate, and we get the money goes to education. But I don't think that's not what I guess I'm talking about here.
Okay, okay. Just want to make.
Yeah.
Mr. Wilson?
We have a lottery too, Representative, and absolutely have no problem with that. This is absolutely within the borders of each individual state. We're talking about cross-state borders, online gambling.
Fair enough. I just want to make sure because, quite honestly, I have concerns about that as well. But again, for the third time, I just don't want to interrupt something that is working so well in our state and that we feel like we have under control. So I just want to get clarification on that, okay? Mr. Chairman, that's all I had, and I'll yield back. Thank you.
Well, I think